everybody, I'm TychoCelchuuu. I think maybe I started the recording for YouTube slightly after I started talking, so if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe the introduction sounded like, hello, I'm TychoCelchuuu, or TychoCelchuuu, or something like that. In any case, we have a really exciting game today between Dave and Lovenest, two of the top players in the game. Lovenest playing as the Soviets, and Dave playing as the OKW. I swear to God on the loading screen. Oh no, I take it back. There was a sniper bulletin on the loading screen. I was like, how can Dave have it? But he can't. It's the Soviet who has the sniper bulletin. Evening, Trouser Demon. Trouser Demon saying hello in Twitch chat. Yes, that's right. For those of you watching on YouTube, these matches are simultaneously live streamed on Twitch, so you can go follow me and see that as it happened. We have tier 2 built right first thing from Lovenest, but nothing out of it yet. No Maxim or even no machine gun. Probably it would be odd to see, or I mean mortar. Probably it would be odd to see a mortar. You can sometimes see a mortar on this map if you're fighting the Oster, because maybe they'll get a quick MG42 or two and start trying to pin you in, but with the ice frozen over and you can walk across it, and also the MG34 being a little less effective than the MG42, probably you don't need a Soviet mortar right off the bat. But you do need a Maxim, the Soviet player doing that sort of thing. So the Germans and the Soviets both capping in both directions. Don't know what to say about that, except that the German has the fuel advantage right now. The Soviets not having capped this point, so that can start adding up as time goes on. We have plus 20 fuel for the Germans versus plus 10 for the Soviets. A really nice building grab, plus some really nice shots by those Storm Pioneers. They went fucking ham on those conscripts, and that's going to be a really great early win for the OKW, forcing those conscripts back to base. They're going to have to reinforce. Their health bar is basically at half too, and that's looking good. But finally, we're getting the fuel cap, so we'll have some parity soon. Plus 20 versus plus 16. I guess not soon. This thing has to... I don't know why I'm zooming in. I don't think that makes the icon bigger. I think it's an optical illusion. It looks like it gets smaller, but I think that's an optical illusion. I think the icon stays exactly the same size. Oh god, I can't tell. I think it stays the same size. Notice how much I'm zooming in and out. Those of you who have been watching my videos religiously know that I was having some mouse wheel trouble, not being able to zoom in or out. Hey, I can't go left or right. And eventually my mouse broke. So yesterday my mouse broke. That's why I didn't stream yesterday, for those of you who are Twitch followers. But now I have a new mouse, and it 100% works, and honestly, you don't know how much fresh air it is to finally have a working mouse wheel after basically not having a working mouse wheel for so long, because it's not so bad for games, I guess, if you're using a mouse wheel in a game. It's just like switch weapons or something. But for fucking, like, you know, writing and reading on your computer, you're fucking scrolling down all the time, and that was the scroll that was broken, so that was a huge pain in the ass. We have an interesting fight here. Some conscripts out on the ice, some behind a boat. The Storm Pioneers were shooting the people behind the boat, even though they had cover, because they're the lower health squad. Here we have a flank going on the Maxim. Looks like the Fox-Critters are probably going to get one or maybe two incendiary grenades off. They're both going for it. Ooh, those guys got pinned, so they had to retreat. And these guys do get it off because the Maxim can't switch, and now it's going to burn. There are 6 people in the house, and they can shoot, so maybe you keep the Maxim there for a while. This is pretty risky. Once it starts ticking down low, you're going to say, yeah, that's why it's risky. Oh, Jesus, did you see that? Fucking 3 people died in 1 tick. Oh, and then a conscript merge. So that was a calculated risk by Lovenest. Presumably the machine guns was not going to die, so just keep it around and merge them. Oh, looks like I was about to say the Fox-Critters were around the corner and not shootable by the Maxim. I lied, but now they're good. They're just going to chill out here, it looks like. And map control is very static, so the plus 29 versus plus 20, fuel income plus 47 versus 32, that's probably what it's going to be for a while, because this is a real fight going on, these 2 Maxims versus the entire OKW army, except for these guys, who have been mostly forgotten about. I guess they're also guarding the point, just in case the opponent moves out, but probably the OKW is busy. We'll have to see if Dave moves these. Yep, Dave is moving the Fox-Critters. Maybe I was going to say maybe they're going to build some sandbags here, but no, they already have them. And it makes sense to leave them here. Eventually the Soviet is going to want to probe this right-hand side of the map, and it'll be nice to have Fox-Critters to stop it. But it also makes sense to take them and use them in the fight, because right now, like, the entire armies of both squads, or of both sides, are fighting around this middle, and whoever has the larger number of units does have a bit of an advantage. So it would maybe make sense to get those Fox-Hooters in there. Jesus, these engineers are really hoping for a lucky flame crit there, and they did kill another 2 people, but they're getting pretty low, so they're going to have to retreat sooner rather than later. Another engineer squad being built. That's really interesting. So we still just have tier 2. We don't. I guess we have the fuel to tech up to something. We'll have to see whether the Soviet player is looking to tech up or they just want, maybe Loveness wants a second engineer squad for the flamethrowers. Just needs a lot of flamethrowers for all these buildings around here. These folks did eventually get repositioned, so Dave decided all the fighting's happening in the middle. This is where the fun is, and the conscripts are going for a nice cutoff on the fuel. Are they going to cap the point? Yes. Good. Flame grenade on the Maxim. Again, we'll have to see how long until the Maxim gets repositioned, because it wants to do as much damage and pinning to this as possible. But it packs up relatively early and gets out without taking any losses, although pretty low health. Do we have the healing? Yeah, we have medics back at the HQ, so we'll see if it gets out without any models lost. The Sturm Pioneers can maybe cut it down on the red cover, but it made it across the red cover safely. And that's pretty good for Love Nest, obviously paying for it with positioning. Love Nest gets forced almost entirely out of the middle. Let's see, there is this one Maxim plus those engineers up here who aren't being upgraded, but Love Nest loses positioning, but doesn't lose a lot of manpower. It doesn't lose any manpower really on that Maxim, it's just going to get healed up by the medics. Interesting to stick this Maxim in this building, so that's Love Nest basically abandoning the middle and just looking instead to control this fuel, keep it from being recapped, which it looks like that's going to happen. Are they going to get pinned? Ooh, so close to pinning them, but they captured the fuel and they're out of there. So that's kind of unfortunate. That would have been a really nice decap to keep that going for a while. Oh well. STG-44 assault rifle is completed. So Twitch chat right now is a little quiet. I think because everybody's watching. There's some fucking like rebroadcast of some Let Them Make War Not Love event where Helping Hans is playing on some fancy stream. But I figure once that's done, people will look for another Company Heroes channel to watch, and they'll watch mine, and I'll have all the viewers. So here we go, Tier 3 going up. It turns out not to be this engineer squad doing Tier 3. These guys are mining in the middle. And what do you think's coming out from Tier 3? Maybe an SU-76 would be a good purchase at this point, because it can shoot at people in buildings and do some damage to them, and also fend off any sort of, I don't know what we'd be seeing coming out from the OKW. They're getting ready to tech up, but they aren't there yet. I don't know, or a T-70, the classic T-70. Everybody buys that. You know what nobody ever buys? The half-track. I don't think I've seen this built, the Soviet half-track built, since I came back in the latest patch in December. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think I've seen the Soviet half-track. Let me know if you've seen any Soviet half-track going. Anyways, we have this nice smoke barrage from the infantry support gun, forcing the Maxim off, not just repositioned, but entirely retreating. Soviets trying to capture a lot of stuff that got decapped by these Volksfighters. Very good Volksfighters. This is an excellent cutoff here, too. So the Soviet income is, I was about to say it was bad. It actually seems relatively high because this is somehow linked up. So it's actually looking pretty good because the Soviets managed to keep down there. But actually everybody's income is pretty low because both players are doing some real nice cutoff work here. I feel like my previous mouse, when I scrolled left and right, it moved the window left and right. That was in like 1 or 2 videos ago probably on YouTube if you're watching this there, but this one doesn't do that, even though this definitely scrolls left and right. My new mouse has more buttons though, so that's good. So the conscript Urad to get into this green cover. We'll see if it pays off. It looks like the answer is going to be no. But they can still... Oh, I guess also they're capping the point. So that's super important, actually. Yeah, that's totally worth it. And they might even win this fight. But even if they don't win the fight, capping that point, if they can cap the point. Oh, we have guards. So I should have looked at the doctrines. It's too late now for the Soviets. We picked the guards' motor coordination tactics. There's fighting going all over. I think this is the most exciting fight to watch, even though there's guards fighting over there. Nice flame crit wipes out one guy. And the conscripts, oh boy, that almost got really bad. That squad could have gone down in the next flame burst. So you see Dave, clearly an excellent player, gets it out by the skin of their teeth, keeping an eye on those folks and retreating just at the necessary point. Let's check these doctrines. Luftwaffe Ground Forces boring, Special Ops boring, First Storm Doctrine. Man, this thing seems more popular lately, First Storm Doctrine. Nobody ever picks it, but People are loading up on it because they like the variety. Oh boy. DP-28 has arrived. Ooh, these guards are gonna have a fun time behind this green cover. Oh man, they must have. I was about to say they must have shot the truck while it was setting up, but obviously not. It's just their AT rifles that are. If they kill that truck, that would be a fucking pain in the ass for the OKW. But they did more than enough, wiping out some Fox Grenadiers. Would have been maybe nice to have them behind those green sandbags instead of getting themselves beat up, just so they can take this truck's health bar down to very low. And why was the truck over there? Clearly tier 4 is trying to get set up somewhere. And we did have a T-70 built, with another 30 fuel in the bank. So now's the Soviets' chance to do some fucking damage because there's no Rakettenwerfer on the field. So the T-70 will have... Whoa, repairing the truck. When the truck is damaged and you build a building, that doesn't mean the building's damaged, right? This is just keeping the truck in tip-top shape for mysterious reasons. Anyways, we'll have to keep our eye on this T-70 because this is the chance. This is the chance for the Soviets to really push the Germans' faces in. Soviets doing quite well on map control compared to the Germans. Once they cap this fuel, which shouldn't be too tough, they'll have basically complete domination. But units-wise, the Germans still doing pretty good. Don't think either player has lost a squad, right? Nothing for them. And I'll switch over. Yeah, no squads lost. So that's how you know they're both really good players. We've had some near losses, but no losses. We have some minesweepers, but no mines. I think the Soviets did have mines, right? They had some mines in the middle, and those went off. And here's the Raketen. So the T-70's window is rapidly closing. Between a Raketen and Faust's, T-70s do not have long life expectancies, especially on this map where they have to sort of... They're stuck in the middle of a fucking city. They have a long way back to go if they want to go back to base to be safe. It's pretty easy to chase because there's just so much space. But we'll see if it does anything. It's up to 3 kills. That was more than I thought. That's an impressive little T-70. Not as much as you want at this point, given that you've dumped a lot of fuel into teching to it. But still, 3 kills. He takes out the sandbags too. That's good. So what's the German tech going to be? We still don't have the truck being anything. We have the healing truck, obviously, but you don't build trucks for no reason. What? I thought the grenade went there. Where did the grenade go? Oh, the Volksgrenadiers tossed a grenade?
The sector is at risk.
I don't think so. Maybe they tossed infiltration grenades. I don't think so. It'll have to be a mystery. What is going on? There's fighting happening all over the map, and I cannot find... There's the grenade, I think. I think a grenade... Nope, that pulls on fire from earlier. Some fires just never go out in Company Heroes 2. It's a little odd. But here we go. We've got Special Ops Doctrine chosen at some point by Dave. Are these going to be infiltration grenades? Nope, they're just going to shoot. This is brave because your health bar is getting low. But they win the game of chicken. And the Raketen announces itself. So now the Soviet player is going to have to play around the Raketen. Not a big deal on a big map like this, so I talked about the downsides of trying to use a T-70 on a big map like this. It's sort of easy to chase you, and you have to move far forward to get work done, and so you get caught out and killed. But the plus side is that once you've isolated your opponent's AT gun, you can just drive to the other side of the map. And the Soviet map control still looks pretty good. Fuel income is more or less even because they haven't wrested this from the Germans, but it's alright. And here's Tier 4, down at the cutoff. Not the cutoff, down at the point. That makes sense. You don't want to be too forward with Tier 4 on a map like this. On any map, you just get artilleried. What is this? It's the heavy mortar called in. So we'll have a response to the infantry support gun, which has 4 kills so far. And also maybe something to bombard any trucks that get set up forward, which didn't happen, but that was a possibility that the Soviet had to keep in mind, because the Soviet player did see, Loveness did see the truck earlier when he attacked it with the guards, and Tier 4 reveals itself, so maybe eventually we'll see the mortar trying to bombard it? I guess not. The mortar would have to get pretty far forward to do that. Heavy mortar coming in on, I assume, the Volksverdeers?
Vehicles can be marked and targeted.
Yes, whoa, that's a big explosion with a very fancy tree branch, which is bouncing like a weirdo.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a
These guys are trying to Faust it. I don't know if that's worth it. They're not going to be able to catch it and kill it. I mean, you'll be able to catch it maybe for the Faust, but you can't kill it if you catch it. Oh, and they just soft retreat. Oh wait, that's a good move. You fool the T-70 into backing up because, you know, whatever, it doesn't want to get Fausted, even though all things considered that wouldn't have been so bad. Actually, that Mercat is closer than I thought. But yeah, you fool the T-70 into walking away from you, and that gives you a window to just turn around and walk away from the T-70. Do a nice little soft retreat. Great grenade in the Sturm Pioneers. That's going to not actually kill them, but they have to get aggro and cover, and then the DP machine gun is going to start doing some damage. Oh, wow. Was that I think was the heavy mortar firing. It seemed like it. Or no, the T-70? It seemed like the heavy mortar. It's a mystery. And nice job baiting those Volksverdeers to get shot by the guards for a little while. What do the VPs look like? Pretty even, pretty impressive, very back and forth from both these players in terms of VP capping. Even though you imagine the German is feeling pretty pressed to take back some of the map. Plus 16 fuel income at this point, versus plus 36 for the Soviets, because the Soviets finally got that fuel, which is one of the most important things happening in this game right now in terms of map control. The Soviets holding this fuel and having this mortar and T-70 set up right over it, and probably a Maxim too, I would imagine. Yeah, and a Maxim is going to be a huge pain in the butt for the Germans. We'll have to see whether they keep assaulting that fuel, try and dislodge this Maxim and get this fuel, or what, because this is not a tenable situation for the German player to be in. You can't just sit around like this. Ooh, they're going to toss a flame grenade. So this is, the Soviet player needed to, Loveness needed to reposition into this house. That's sort of the best place for the Maxim, although it does make it a bit of a target for this thing. Loveness needed to reposition into this house, but that meant the Maxim set up a little late, and the Volksverdeers were able to get close enough and dislodge it. Although, oh, and it did get retreated. It's at half health. Here we go, here we go. It's a Panzer IV. So this is the German time to come back into this game. The Soviet T-70 ended up being relatively useful. It got 9 kills, but it was, I think, the mortar plus the Maxim play, plus the guards and the conscripts that, oof, nice crush, that really kept the Soviet player in a dominating position for most of this game, and we'll see if the German can fix that. All these guards are stacked up here. They're asking to get crushed. Nice conscript merge into them so they can keep shooting their AT rifles at the Panzer IV. This fucking shed's making it hard to drive around, and the Soviet player realizes I'm taking infantry support gun fire. I'm 1 crush away from dying. There's an MG-34 out from God knows where, so it's time to leave. And here we go. German player now has the south fuel. That's better, although the Soviet player has banked up 250 fuel. This is a big deficit for the German player to come back from. We don't have Tier 4 built yet, but it's not too far away. God damn, I was going to click on mine detected to see where the mine was, but presumably these guys will show me where it was. Maybe they even diffused it, because I don't see a mine anywhere here. So maybe the Sturm Pioneers just diffused a mine right around in this area. The second Soviet mine, at least after the first one, went off this little crater. And the Panzer IV is repaired. 3 kills, but it managed to push the Soviets entirely off the middle, and now the Germans are setting up shop. Nice scouting Volksverdeers down here. Just figuring out what's going on, and I thought they got picked off by the T-70, but they didn't. Still only 9 kills. Plus 20% accuracy and minus 20% reload. That's good. Privet 3. Plus 20% accuracy finally paying off. They shot one of those guys, and this Raketenwerfer is that's an interesting retreat. I would have expected the Raketenwerfer to stay in the fight, try and hit the T-70, maybe in conjunction with the Panzer IV, bring it down low enough to knock out the engine, and then kill the T-70, and then it's smooth going from there on out. And here's Tier 4 coming up along with an AT gun. So we got ourselves a fight on our hands. The Soviet player now has basically everything he needs to fight the Panzer IV. I think 1 guard squad, 2 conscripts with AT grenades and an AT gun, they can take a Panzer IV out if you use them right. But it's all about using it right. Oof, bad luck truck. Everybody just dies around it and retreats, and then a mortar shell hits its blown apart corpse. after having been blown apart once by the Panzer IV. Oh, whoa, T-70 tries to drive by. That's not the plan. It was just moving, I guess, to the left to try and support an assault. I don't know what the plan was for the T-70 was. And these guards aren't anywhere near the Panzer IV, but that's okay, because they've got DP, so they're doing some damage. That guy got wiped off the face of the earth. And how many kills? 2 kills on the heavy mortar. I really thought the heavy mortar would have had more kills at this point. It's been firing for quite a while, and it's had no shortage of targets. Ooh, T-34. So I love seeing T-34s. That's going to be some badly needed flank potential against the Panzer IV, some badly needed block potential against the Panzer IV. It's also got the virtue of being able to fight infantry, so if the Panzer IV is not on the front lines, it's not like you have a relatively useless thing like the SU. And the Soviet player has a lot of fuel in reserve, so what we might see is T-34 spam. I'm hovering over C. We have enough fuel for another T-34, so potentially that's what they'll go for. And T-34 spam, very effective against... oh, as I maybe moved away right as the engineer is dying, so I'm sorry I wasn't showing you. Oh, that's the end. I wanted to see what the T-70 was doing up here, fausting somebody. Oh, there was a mine. Whoa, that's a squad wipe! We just traded wipe for wipe. We traded an engineer wipe for a Volkswagen wipe, and I think those were the first wipes of the match, happening in very close conjunction. So these players... Oh, it's an 85. How did I miss that? Why did I miscalculate that so much? I should have seen that coming, because T-34-85 is my favorite tank, but yeah, so that's what you do when you bank up a lot of fuel like this. And in fact, if we look at the thing, we basically have enough fuel for another T-34-85. So 2 T-34-85s, I mean, one of these is a match for a Panzer IV, especially when there's an AT gun. Don't drive your Panzer. What is even going on? I guess the Raketenwerfer is here, is giving the German player... Look at that fucking AT gun hit! Was these guys AT grenade? I think they were too far away. That was so much damage. I think we're going to lose a conscript squad, potentially. What the hell is the airplane doing? I think it's marked target. Yes, clearly. That was very nearly terrible for the Germans, but it worked out very well. Because as long as the tank gets repaired, nothing happened. Pretty sure the 85... Oof, actually, now something's happening. This is not good. Yeah, I think that... I'm pretty sure the T-34 pinged off the front of the Panzer IV one, so that was the difference between living and dying. And Flintstone PF says, yes, casting CoH2, I nut, and Twitch chat. Oh, the plane just died. Where'd it go? I know I should be looking at, like, the fighting, but I want to find the plane corpse. It may have landed off map. I'm sad. I want to know where it went. Oh well. So yeah, now we've got, I guess, yeah, Soviets having to spend a lot of manpower to reinforce everything, but oh no, the ZIS got taken. I wasn't paying enough attention, and we have oversold on the ZIS got taken. This is horrific, really. A ZIS makes mincemeat of T-34s of every stripe. We're going to have 2 Panzer IVs out in a moment, and that was also the main Soviet AT aside from the tanks. And now the tanks are going to be much less effective because there's a fucking ZIS around. 8 kills on the infantry support gun. I thought the infantry support gun would maybe have a few more kills because it's been firing the whole time. Mortar's still at 2. Not a good day for indirect fire weapons. You would think they'd have been doing better. Man, that mortar just fell right here and did nothing. T-70 doing all the work. This is getting pretty hectic for the Soviet player. Are we gonna see another 85? We've got the resources. Now would be a time to build it, because things are getting ugly on the AT side. You've got a guard squad and an 85 versus 2 tanks now, and 2 AT guns. And I guess AT grenades. So why not? Ooh! Miss micro from the German player means the ZIS gets decrewed, so that's good news. And we may see the ZIS get recrewed. Very brave T-70 driving up here. 85 coming in to try and secure the ZIS and to fight off the Panzer IVs. I think the Soviet player at this point should be wanting to bring everything in here to get the ZIS back. Just do anything to recapture that gun. It's hard. There's not a lot of Soviet stuff that's ready and willing to go, and the Germans are fucking capping everywhere, so this is... What is the Raketten doing over here? Good lord. These, see, nobody's, you can tell that both players are very busy because they're not microing either of their things on either side. I guess the Soviet doesn't have anything on those sides. There's another bounce from the T-3485. Not lucky bounces. And look, we did have another T-3485 built. Everything's coming... everything's happening as I've foreseen, just like the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, and not only was the CIS recruit, but the infantry support gun was recruit. What a crazy game we've got so far. I think the plane just crashed again, right? That's what I heard? Oof, poor Zis. Instead of crewing both of them, I should have just crewed the Zis and then merged into it. I guess you can't merge into it because that would kill the conscript squad. Didn't think about that. Tycho, why don't you think before you talk? And it looks like guards crewed the Zis. Or somebody. What the fuck is that? Is that a guard? I think that's a guard's rifle. I guess we're gonna just click on him to find out. Yeah, it's a guard's rifle. Interesting. Crewing is this with guard's rifle? Or crewing an infantry support gun with guard's rifle. Or crewing both. Probably both. This one's at one person. That's probably what happened. That's expensive. These guys cost 27 to recruit. I guess that's not the worst. But it's not cheap. Where's the mine? There's that. Whoa, how did you get a mine down there? Soviet player gets MVP mine layer. The T-34-85 making enough space in the middle by beating up on the Panzer IV, such that the Soviet player has a bit of breathing room, but the tank is back, and it's Vet 2, and it's got 19 kills. And there is a Zis. Okay, so that needs to get merged sooner rather than later. These conscripts... Oh, wow, conscripts capping a strategic point instead of merging with the Zis. Interesting choice. Oh, nice. T-34 being aggressive. BE aggressive. Oh, but it misses, and then it's getting shot by 2. And then there's another T-34. Oh, is the T-70 going to try the flank? What kind of crazy, insane stuff is happening here? What is going on? The T-70 is not trying the flank. It's just going to go cap on the right. It's got Vet 3. 30% sight range, 20% maximum speed, 20% rotation speed, 20% acceleration, minus 20% scatter. Man, the scatter's now minus 40%. Well, no. Plus 20% accuracy and minus 20% scatter. Anyways, that probably makes it good. Sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Soviet player in a relatively good position, having taken the Zis back with 2 T-34-85s on the field. That's starting to get critical mass. Obviously, there are 2 Panzer IVs on the field, but the Soviet infantry anti-tank power is a bit better than the Germans. The Germans have the Faust, the Soviets have the AT grenades and the Button and the anti-tank rifles. And the anti-tank rifles, you don't want to underestimate them. Those add up over time versus the Panzer IVs. No mean feat. That's not what I meant to say. No mean feat would be describing some particular event. What's happening up here? Oh, that was a tripwire flare that killed a guy. That's a good little ability. I've been trying to tell myself I need to plant more tripwire flares in my games. You gotta get in the habit of planting those things. Here we go. These are... Oh, guards rifle, guards... Yeah, look, if you were watching... Look at those health bar. The health bar is going down, 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 because they're getting some rear shots in on the Panzer IV. Now they're getting front shots and they're pinging off, and that makes sense. But yeah, you gotta be careful around those AT rifles. Those guards don't mess around. We'll keep an eye on the health bar now. Oh, we're gonna get rear shots again. Look, see? They penetrate. They hurt. They hurt. Stuff happens. What's up here? Oh, I don't know. What's happening in the middle? I don't know. All the action is down here. This is only guards fire right now. This is only guards fire that's brought it down to fucking half health. Yeah, those were a few lucky penetrations in the front. That's a half health Panzer IV that managed to kill 0 guards. So you cannot underestimate what happens when you click. What's the ability called? It's called back in the fight when they're down, but when they're not down, it's not called hit the dirt, is it? It's not the same. Oh, wow! Fucking 6-dimensional chess for Kettenwerfer turns out to have paid off. But then the T-34 just reverses slightly, and the Germans are defeated. Build another T-34. I'll love you. Oh, no. Too much pop cap. Wow, the Soviet player is pop capped. That's how you know the Soviet player is very good. Soviet player has only lost 1 squad, I think, and I think the German player has only lost like 1 or 2 squads. Maybe 1 squad? 2, I guess, if you count the infantry support gun. And I also don't know how to count the Zis, because it's been stolen from the Germans. Does that count as the Germans losing a squad, or do the Germans like get an extra squad that counts against how many squads they've lost? when they steal the Zis, and so when it gets stolen back, their squad loss does not increment. Anyways, the Panzer IV doesn't realize it's getting shot by the Zis and almost dies. If the first Zis shot had penetrated rather than bounced, maybe it would have died, but I think if the first Zis shot had penetrated rather than bounced, the Panzer IV would have realized earlier that it was getting shot by a Zis, so that's one of those paradoxes of life. I'm pretty sure I heard the Dalai Lama talking about that earlier, about how you'd know you're getting shot by a Zis gun earlier with your Panzer IV. Vet 5! Foxtroters, speaking of people losing units, we've now lost a T-70. I don't know how we count up the infantry support gun, because does it count as the Soviets getting an extra unit, and so now they're even again, or does it count as them losing a unit, because they had a thing and now it's dead? This is going to shoot those guys. Oh, I told you they was going to shoot those guys. Fucking killed 2 of them. And wow, I was not paying attention to the VPs, but that's what happens when you have map control. The Soviets have gotten the Germans down to 70 VPs, and they're triple cap, they're down to 68. This may be a VP win. This is why the Germans going fucking ham. Even if the German weren't low on VPs, this would be a very good assault. And I think the Panzer IV just whiffed and killed the building instead of shooting the T-34, and then it didn't penetrate, and then it missed. These tanks cannot get their shit together. Do we have any people to Faust? No, we do have a Raketen coming up. And the Panzer IV is not chasing, interestingly. The German just wants to hold the middle, which makes a lot of sense. And fuck up that. No, take it, it's yours. Whatever, fuck it up. See if I care. See if I give a shit. Vet 3. Cool. Oh, it's coming back in. It's trying to keep the decap from happening. Yikes, 43 VPs. This is getting scary. At least the Germans are over here. Repairing and capping. Look at that efficiency. Yes, T-34 spam. It's happening. 3 T-34s. This is what I like to see. Love Nest is maybe going to take this. This assault is going to go pretty well. I think this T-34 can fight off the Panzer IV because there's no other stuff in the field except for the guards, and they'll just help. But, oh, look, here's a second. I think this could be GG. If the Soviets take this point and hold it, that's going to be 2 VPs versus 1 VP. I don't know if the German comes back from it. The German either has to commit to hold the point, in which case you lose the Panzer IV, or get ready for a counterattack. And here comes the counterattack without this Panzer IV, which is interesting. You really got to commit, Germany. Oh, but the surprise cap? Oh, no, these guys are going to pin. I don't know what's going to happen. If you had taken that infantry support gun, maybe you could drop some smoke on the left. Panzer IV goes ham on some conscripts. May have gotten some kills from them falling in the ice, I think? In the water, it's hard to tell. I'm not sure if you can actually drown in this tiny river. It may just be on the big old ice. This is down to the wire. German at 38 VPs and paused. My hiccups. And the guards are going to hold this point. Compeller high water. Somehow I managed to cap it while being shot by the Maxim. So that's actually not going to last very long, right? Here come engineers, here come Maxim. It makes sense. You might say, why are you moving the Maxim out? Because the engineers are coming, why not stay in the house? It makes sense because clearly the Maxim was not far enough forward to stop the cap from happening. So you want to reposition the Maxim anyways so you can stop that from happening in the future. But this is, this could be GG for the Germans. Even the middle is getting capped. Yikes. If the middle gets capped and the top gets capped, and the bottom stays in Soviet hands, that's gonna tick down the Germans' points. And oof, Panzer has to take some side hits for no good reason, I guess. And yikes, at least there's a Raketen. This could be the saving grace. 2 Raketens. Oh, but the T-34 does not take the bait. That's really good play from the Soviet player. Most players would have chased to try and finish off this Panzer IV, but the Soviet player is like, look, I can win with just 2 VPs. I don't know what's out there. I do know there's 1 Raketen I think the Soviet did see, so I'm just going to abandon this point and go for the middle, win like that, and not risk my T-34-85. Nice mine going off here. German player taking a lot of damage from mines. There's another mine up here, so that's going to slow down the cap if the German goes for it. They run over the mine, get slowed down, and this is maybe GG? I don't know. Here's the German assault. The Germans do have the VP on the right. This is going to be a really tough assault. I think all 3 T-34s are going to be here. There's just no way you cap that middle point when T-33 T-34s are shooting at you. Looks like this Raketen is just getting fucked up by the more... Yeah, this is... Well, it's going to be a slow drain for the Germans. It's going to be 2 VPs instead of 3. So it won't be the triple cap. Oh, we have a Panther! The German may totally be in this. We have a Panther, and remember, we don't have a Zis. I shouldn't say remember. The Zis actually got killed when we weren't looking, I think. I don't even know where the fuck this went, but we have a Panther. Ooh, man, this could work out for the Germans. We just need some of these T-34s damaged or killed. This Panzer IV missing its shot is not doing anybody favors. The Panther is at half fucking health from marked target. Guards are coming up, so they'll be able to button if anyone tries to chase the T-34. Otherwise, they'll just put more damage in on the Panther. This could be a GG. This could be a cap over here. I don't think the German comes back from this. Oh, and Dave quits. So yeah, wonderful game, man. 35 minutes. Both players basically not losing any units. Look at the vet, fucking 3 vet over here for everything, 5 vet over here for everything. We got a 4 vet Panzer IV, and it all came down to the excellent Soviet map control, which was a mixture of Maxims and really just conscripts and guards. Just really good play, and mines, a lot of mines, helping the Soviets stay on the field even in the face of these mine-sweeping motherfuckers. And great game. Thanks for joining me on that. And Stefanor and Julio just showed up in Twitch chat. Alright.